speak against the motion. For the motion, Representative Burris, you recognize to speak for the motion.
Excuses to try to block this.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I'm glad we got to ask the questions, and I apologize for the point. I didn't know we wouldn't have any time to debate afterwards because I think the substance is very important. And just to clarify exactly where we stand, I understand that there are some questions, but I'd stress again that there weren't any yesterday. And so what has happened since Representative Kerr met with various entities representing education, they are now supportive of the bill. The bill does not eliminate elections in off years or special elections at any point. All it says is that if you're going to have a special election, it must occur for a city or county on the 2 days outlined on the bill, which would be the regular time for the May election and then the regular time for the November election in even and odd numbered years. So you can still have a special, you just have to have it on one of those 2 days. And if you're a school, you can still have a millage increase. You can just either do it on one of those 2 days, even or odd numbered years, or also in September when you have your school board. So if you're a school, you've got 3 options for a millage increase. If you're a city or county, you've got 2. And if you back up and just think about what we're talking about maximizing voter participation. We've heard a lot of discussion on various bills about that very subject. A lot of people oppose bills because they were concerned about having elections at times that would minimize voter participation. So now, all we're saying is that if we're gonna have elections on non-regularly scheduled times, on non-regular days, be it the May preferential primary or the November general election of even numbered years, you just have to do it on one of those 2 or 3 days, depending on what entity you represent. I think it's reasonable. I think it's made several accommodations to the various entities that it affects, and I think it's a step in the right direction. We're not limiting the ability to put things on the ballot. All we're saying is if you're going to do it, we're going to do it at a time consistent that makes it easier on voters to know when it's going to happen and be informed about what's going to be on their ballot. I think that's a good process. I'll be happy to take any questions.
Representative Murdoch, for what purpose?
Question, Mr. Speaker.
You recognize.
Representative Burris, when you think that those changes are being made and those considerations are being made, that those that are most affected by it should have an opportunity to review those as the smaller groups or whatever cluster of people have come up with these changes, don't you think that, as well as the membership, should have time to review that before they have to be impacted by that?
I do, Representative Murdoch. That's why the bill was filed weeks ago. That's why it was heard in committee. That's why it was presented on the floor yesterday and no questions were asked. And it was why, after it failed, Representative Kerr met with the associations that had direct interest in this, and they are now supportive of the bill.
So all of the emails that I and many like me are getting, we discount those as though they haven't read the bills, they don't understand their questions as constituencies, the people we represent. You're saying that to total discount that because of...
Not at all, sir. I'm just saying that there is changes to the bill since those emails were received. And I think if you visit with the associations that represent those people, they are now supportive. But even that, I don't believe, we receive a lot of communication pro and con. I'm not saying that I support this bill because the associations are now supportive of it, even though that is a very material fact. I support the bill because it's going to place restrictions on special elections that ensure maximum voter participation and makes it easier on the people that are going to vote in these elections to know when they're going to occur.
My last question, but most certainly you support the bill because you represent almost 30,000 people and you're speaking for them as you speak for John Burris as well, as I'm trying to do as I speak for 30,000 people. So my belief, my thinking, but I must listen also to those that I represent.
I agree.
Would you agree with that?
Absolutely.
That's all I'm trying to do.
Representative McClain, for what purpose?
Question, Mr. Speaker.
Recognized.
Representative Burris, you said changes have been made.
Changes have agreed to be made.
Okay, so, okay.
And I'll have a chance to concur on those changes.
That's the clarification I need. Thank you.
Okay, again, members, I appreciate a vote because it's very important to know, a good vote, because again, we're not limiting special elections in any way. All we're saying is if they're going to occur, they need to occur on a consistent basis in a manner that gives voters a chance to know when they're going to vote and so maximize voter participation.
Representative Mayberry, for what purpose?
Question.
You recognize.
Representative Burris, going to Representative Murdoch's question about an opportunity to review everything. Do I understand correctly that once these changes are made in the Senate, that this bill will come back to the House to concur in that Senate?
Yes, sir. We have to concur on the amendment.
And so everyone in this House would have an opportunity to vote on the full bill at that point in time. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Yep. All right. Thank you, members. I appreciate a good vote.
Representative Burris has spoken for the motion.